30 years ago today, the last men to walk on the moon were almost midway through their mission. But Apollo 17 was NASA's sixth and final manned moon landing. Those years between 1969 and 1972 had been a heady time for the U.S. space program, men going where no one had gone before. The question today, why aren't they going anymore? How about Mars? Here's ABC's Judy Muller.
I was strolling on the moon one day in a merry month of December.
December 1972, Apollo 17 astronauts Gene Cernan and Harrison Schmitt became the last humans to walk on the moon.
I did not really believe I would be sitting here 3 decades later, still being the last man to have left my footprints on the surface of the moon. Quite frankly, it's a little disappointing.
Cernan is not alone in wondering what happened to manned space exploration.
Hey, it is! I can see it from here. It's orange.
Why is it that we went from Kitty Hawk to the moon in 66 years, and in the last 33 years since then, exactly half that time, we've gone nowhere?
Well, not exactly nowhere. NASA has continued to explore space by remote control, sending unmanned spacecraft to investigate the planets and observe the stars. From Mars Pathfinder to the Hubble telescope, these mechanical explorers have sent back invaluable scientific data.
We got smaller and smarter, requiring more, allowing us to do more things faster than a single-minded, large human exploration program.
Even so, there is a growing drumbeat to resume manned exploration, this time to Mars.
The leap from what we did for the moon 30 years ago to humans to Mars, it would be the greatest step in any aspect of human exploration ever attained.
But Mars is 200 times farther away than the moon. A manned expedition to Mars would take months under extremely dangerous conditions. That's why robots will be going first. This coming spring, 2 new Mars rovers will be launched to prepare the way for possible manned expeditions sometime in the distant future.
We better know darn well what we're going to see when we get there. So we need to understand Mars a lot better using robots before we send people.
Robotic exploration clearly is safer and more efficient, but advocates of human exploration argue that a manned mission would inspire us in ways that robots can't. And they say the cost would not be prohibitive if NASA stopped throwing money at what they say are the wrong projects.
The most important thing is ending the endless waste of the space station and the shuttle. That's where all the money is going. It's just eating up the program.
The International Space Station will cost at least $65 billion before it's finished. A single flight of the shuttle, which carries freight to the space station, costs $400 million. Those costs are defended as necessary research for man's future in space. But not everyone agrees.
We have decided to exploit space at the 100% expense of not exploring space. We have ceased to become a space-faring nation.
The obstacles to a manned mission to Mars are enormous, from how to deal with the loss of bone density in zero gravity to the cost of creating an environment the astronauts could live in once they reach the planet. But the last man to set foot on the moon thinks resuming human exploration will give the space program an enormous psychological boost.
Right away, Houston.
You know, you can send a camera to Mars, or you can send a camera to Saturn, and even bring it back, but you've never seen a camera have a ticker tape parade in New York City. I'm not talking about the celebrity status. I'm talking about people's response to a human being himself going where no man has been before.
Come on out here and give me a salute.
Cernan fears it will not happen again in his lifetime. In fact, even with public support and government backing, it may be decades before another footprint is left behind. Judy Muller, ABC News, Los Angeles.